In the headlines, despite northern pushback, CBN redeploys 1,500 staff to Lagos operations. Army rescues 35 kidnapped victims in Katsina. FRSC patrol van involved in hit-and-run incident in Abuja. And on the foreign scene, Pakistan former Prime Minister Imran Khan jailed 10 years for leaking state secrets. Hello again and welcome to the Trust TV News Update at this hour. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you for joining us again. Now the news in full. At least 1,500 members of staff of the Central Bank of Nigeria will on Friday resume at its Lagos office following their redeployment from the headquarters. A source at the Apex Bank said the plan, though heavily criticized, was still in motion, with affected staffers expected to resume on Friday. The latest development comes on the backdrop of the decision of the new management to relocate some of CBN's departments to the country's economic hub for staff safety, increased productivity, and to decongest its head office. CBN said the action was necessitated by several factors, including the need to align the bank structure with its function and objectives and redistribute skills to ensure a more even geographical spread of talent. It added that it was also in compliance with building regulations as indicated by repeated warnings from the facility manager and the findings and recommendations of the Committee on Decongestion of the CBN head office. And away from that, the Nigerian army says its troops have rescued 32 kidnapped victims during a search and rescue operation in Katsina State. The information officer of Operation Hadarin Daji, Yahya Ibrahim, in a statement on Tuesday, disclosed that the troops also killed 2 suspected terrorists during the operation on Saturday. Ibrahim stated that the troops engaged the terrorists in a gun duel at some identified terrorist camps at Dumborum Forest, which led to the death of 2 suspected terrorists, while others fled with injuries. He added that the rescued kidnapped victims, including 19 male adults, 12 female adults, and 4 children, were handed over to the Katsina State government by the commander, 17th Brigade Nigerian Army and Sector 2 Operation Hadarin Daji, Brigadier General O.A. Fadero. Fadero pledged to continue the attack on the terrorist enclaves. Meanwhile, Governor Dikko Umaru Rada of Katsina State on Monday received 35 individuals who were recently rescued from the clutches of armed bandits in Tashar Nagole and Nahuta Batsari local government area of the state. Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Ibrahim Kaula Mohammed, who stated this in his press statement, said it was as a result of the commendable rescue efforts by security agencies and the governor's unwavering commitment to combating insecurity in the state. According to the statement, the Nigerian Army, under the command of Brigadier General A.O. Fadero, successfully carried out the operation and handed over the rescued civilians to Governor Rada at the Katsina State Government House. Governor Rada commanded the absence of casualties among both the security operatives and the rescued individuals and announced initiatives by the Katsina State government, including free medical assistance for bandit attack victims, allowances for security agencies, and educational support for those who lost parents during terrorist attacks. Earlier, Brigadier General Fadero, who, while briefing the governor on the rescue operation, stated that the victims were freed from Dumborum Forest after a fierce gun battle between soldiers and the bandits. The death toll from the attack by armed invaders on rural communities of Agatu local government area in Benue State has risen to 10. 8 were reportedly killed after the armed invasion on Saturday, which led to more villagers fleeing their abodes. Some villagers said the death toll could be more than 10 as such parties were still looking for missing persons as of Monday afternoon. But the member representing Agatu constituency in the State House of Assembly, Godwin Edo, put the figure at 10. The police public relations officer, SP Catherine Anene, said she was yet to be briefed on the incident. And now to the FCT. A man and his pregnant wife have survived a near-death experience when a federal road safety official vehicle rammed into their car in Abuja during a high-speed chase. The Tuesday morning incident drew crowds who faulted the conduct of the road safety officials for high-handedness.
I was coming with my wife this morning, then road safety are always on this road, so there was a car in front of me that was a red car, but I don't remember the brand of the car, was in front of me. We were trying to stop the car, then the car moved. So because the road safety driver has already moved his car already like this, so the momentum he had on him already, he could not press the brake. So me that I was behind the car, he hit my car, so that was how he hit my car. Me and my wife came here, head bags. My wife hit her head on, she's pregnant, she's like 7 months gone. So I was just lucky that she's going to the hospital. So they hit us. All my car, everything has been scattered. My engine, everything is gone. My glass, everything is scattered.
So what are the road safety about it now?
They were about to run away. Luckily for somebody, this man that had a Hilux car that blocked them.
The man was coming with speed. I don't know what really happened actually. So the man, I saw, but all I saw, I heard road safety hit this man from the side like this. It's coming from this way. He hit him from the side. So when he hits him, I find out that they want to start. All of them enter inside their vehicle. They want to start. They want to turn and go back to say. So I have to use my truck to block them. This truck, yeah, that Tacoma there. Okay. So I use that Tacoma there to block them, to block the distance. So that's what I saw. Then when I came out, when I dragged this woman out, I found that I saw the woman heavily pregnant, one heavily pregnant woman. So I think it's the woman that hit her head here.
The Ogun State Police Command on Tuesday confirmed that one Olumide Okwenaike, a staff member of a microfinance bank, reported to have been missing and found in Mokwa. The Niger State stayed his abduction following a 1.7 million naira debt. The spokesperson of the State Police Command, SP Omolola Odutola, confirmed this on Tuesday. The wife of the banker, Temitokwe, had told journalists how her husband, Olumide, went missing on January 17 on his way to work. Temitokwe had, however, on Thursday announced that her husband has been found in a place called Mokwa in Niger State. The police have, however, described the reported abduction of the banker as fake. Confirming the incident, Odutola said the police found out that the banker, Olumide Okwenaike, faked his abduction due to a 1.7 million naira debt he owed the bank where he works. He said a customer was remitting the money to the bank, but Okwenaike was diverting it to his personal use. Odutola added that the accused, who is now in detention, then got depressed and decided to fake his abduction. And now away from that, an unprecedented hike in fees for Abuja-based private schools is imminent following the decision of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, to increase operation charges of private schools in the capital city. Under the new tax regime, each school will be billed according to tuition paid by students and the number of enrollments. A memo by the head of account, Department of Quality Assurance of the Education Secretariat, Modi Mohammed, on Monday, said the development would take effect from January 2024. Meanwhile, the National Association of Private School Owners in the FCT, in a letter written to the Education Secretariat, noted that such a tax review at a time when the federal government had promised to eliminate multiple taxes would only increase the cost of education beyond the reach of many parents, thus adding to the population of out-of-school children. The Independent National Electoral Commission in Delta State has expressed its readiness for the conduct of the by-election in the state. The INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner, Monday Udo Tom, disclosed this in an interview with Trust TV in Asaba the Delta State capital on Monday. According to him, the by-election slated for February 3 would hold in Ethiopia West and Burutu 1 constituencies. This is a news update on Trust TV. Still ahead. Nigeria moves up in corruption index. We'll bring you details of that story and more to come after the break. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying. If you're just joining us, this is a Trust TV News Update. Now let's take a look at a recap of some of our top stories. We told you that despite northern pushback, CBN redeploys 1,500 staff to Lagos operations. Plus, Army rescues 35 kidnapped victims in Katsina. And now to more stories. Governor Dauda Lawal has declared a state of emergency in the health sector of Zamfara with a commitment to revamping the state's healthcare system. In a statewide broadcast on Tuesday, the governor lamented the disturbing conditions of the hospitals across Zamfara. The declaration came after his unscheduled visit to Gusau General Hospital in the state capital. According to him, the hospitals urgently needed intervention due to the poor state of facilities, equipment, and workers. Governor Lawal expressed concern over the poor conditions that patients were experiencing in hospitals and highlighted areas of intervention by his administration. Away from health matters, according to Transparency International, Nigeria scored 25 out of 100 points in the 2023 Corruption Perception Index compared to 24 points in the 2022 Corruption Perception Index. While Nigeria ranks 145 out of 180 countries compared to 150 on the 2022 CPI results. Nigeria's score is below the sub-Saharan African average of 33 points. In this report, Noel Sampson speaks to stakeholders on the 2023 CPI ratings, its impact on Nigeria, and how the war against corruption can be won. The report.
The Corruption Perception Index ranks 180 countries and territories by their perceived level of public sector corruption, according to experts and business people. It relies on 13 independent data sources and uses a scale of 0 to 100, where 0 is highly corrupt and 100 is very clean. The index has been an annual source of friction between government officials and Transparency International. Although governments often see the index as skewed and biased, it, however, places a burden on such governments to addressing the menace, even as many question the transparency of the index.
There was a validation from different independent organizations to see the method that being used, and all of them, they have come to conclusion that this is a good methodology to measure public sector corruption.
The sources, that carry out this corruption perception index are credible sources across the world. There are even organizations that Nigeria engages with. We talk about the World Bank, we talk about the World Justice Forum. So these are sources that are credible globally. We talked about the audits that have been done on these sources and confirmed that they are credible sources.
Nigeria has battled with the menace of corruption despite the existence of anti-corruption bodies charged with the responsibility of fighting the menace. This has left many wondering if the corruption can be tamed or it has become part of our everyday lives.
We all have responsibility as Nigerians, but of course the government must provide the leadership, the government must provide the environments for for the corruption to be defeated. For example, we have supported government to develop national strategy to fight corruption. That document has not been operationalized. If it has been operationalized, everyone in this country will have a role to play in order to defeat corruption. But we are not making use of that important document where every Nigerian will have a role to play to minimize corruption.
Strength of the civil society and media, that they are able to be given a space to really advocate for transparency and accountability. And so there are efforts that are being made both by state and non-state stakeholders in, tackling corruption in Nigeria. It is not a hopeless situation. It is something that will continue to work on.
We have to have strong institutions that will enforce all our laws, our Money Laundering Prohibition Act, you have the ICPC, the CCB. Of course, you have the Code of Conduct Bureau, which if they are working effectively, most of the corruption cases you will not even hear, because they ensure that all asset people declare their assets, before they enter office and when they leave office, and they do their investigation properly, you find that a lot of this corruption will be prevented.
Corruption increases inequality, decreases popular accountability and political responsiveness, and thus produces rising frustration and hardship among citizens, who are then more likely to accept or even demand hard-handed or illiberal tactics. This is why many believe the menace must be tackled head-on. Well, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In business, the Naira fell to an all-time low of 1,348.63 Naira per dollar on the Nigerian autonomous foreign exchange market on Monday. This signifies a 51.21% fall from the 891.90 Naira per dollar. The national currency closed last Friday at the official market, according to data from the FMDQ Securities Exchange. Monday's official rate is the worst official exchange rate the country has recorded since the Central Bank of Nigeria floated the national currency in June 2023. This steep depreciation of the Naira against the dollar is defying efforts by the Central Bank of Nigeria and federal government to boost liquidity in the foreign exchange market. The national currency is also not faring better on the parallel window of the foreign exchange market. According to Bureau of the Change Operators, the Naira further fell to 1,450 Naira per dollar as at the end of trading on Monday. Away from Nigeria, former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has been sentenced to 10 years in jail for allegedly leaking state secrets. Khan, who was ousted by his opponents as PM in 2022, is already serving a 3-year jail term after being convicted of corruption. He has called all the charges against him politically motivated. The conviction under the Secrets Act comes the week before general elections in which he is barred from standing. Former Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi, Vice Chairman of Imran Khan's Pakistani Tehreek-e-Insaf Party, was also sentenced to 10 years in prison by the special court set up inside Adiala jail in Rawalpindi, where both men are being held. The so-called cipher case revolves around the alleged leaking of secret diplomatic correspondence sent by Pakistan's ambassador in Washington to Islamabad when Khan was Prime Minister. Still on the foreign scene, a British Nigerian minister, MP Kate Osamo, has been suspended after accusing Israel of genocide on the eve of Holocaust Memorial Day. The British Nigerian-born MP for Edmonton sparked outrage after claiming in her weekly newsletter that Gaza should be added to the list of recent genocides. Posting a photo of herself signing the Holocaust Education Trust commemoration book in Westminster, she wrote on X, "Tomorrow is Holocaust Memorial Day, an international day to remember the 6 million Jews murdered during the Holocaust, the millions of other people murdered under Nazi persecution of other groups, and more recent genocides in Cambodia, Rwanda, Bosnia, and now Gaza." The Board of Deputies, the Jewish Labor Movement, and the Holocaust Educational Trust reacted to her controversial remarks. A labor source confirmed on Sunday evening that the chief whip has suspended Kate Osamo from the Parliamentary Labour Party pending an investigation. In sports, Nigeria's Super Eagles will take on reigning world champions Argentina in an international friendly game in March 2024. There is no official announcement yet from the Nigeria Football Federation. The Guardian gathered that the match will be played inside the Olympic Sports Center, Hangzhou, China. This will be the 4th time the Eagles and Argentina will meet in a friendly. In their last friendly encounter on 17 November 2017 in Krasnodar, Russia, the Eagles came from 2-0 down to beat Argentina 4-2. Argentina averting the defeat to the Eagles when both teams met in their final group game at the Russia 2018 World Cup. Needing only a draw to qualify for the round of 16, the Eagles conceded a late goal to lose 2-1 to the Argentines. Overall, both countries have met 9 times, with Argentina recording 6 wins to Nigeria's 2-1 game ended in a draw. Still on football, the Confederation of African Football has announced that it will hold the draw ceremony for the African Games football tournaments, men and women, on February 1 at the Sofitel Hotel in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. According to CAF, host Ghana and the 8 quarterfinalists of the Under-20 AFCON Egypt 2023 are qualified to compete in the football tournament of the 13th African Games Ghana 2023. The qualified teams are Ghana, Nigeria, Benin, Congo, the Gambia, Senegal, South Sudan, Tunisia, and Uganda. They will be distributed into 2 groups, with one comprising 4 teams and the other 5. According to the following procedures, Ghana, the host, will be in position A1. Nigeria, the runners-up of the previous edition, will be in position B1. Ghana will host the 13th African Games from March 8 to March 23, 2024. And that brings us to the end of the news update at this hour. But remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for your time. Join us again.